Hello everyone. In previous session, we have just restructured. We have prepared our data structure for project management app, and in this demonstration or training video, we will see how to create a model-driven app. So we have just click a new button on our solution, and then chosen the model-driven app, and then we are giving the name to our new model-driven app. So. Uh, So basically, the data structure which we have created was in Dataverse, and this is in also Power Apps portal. And after creating model-driven app, you can see navigation bar on left-hand side, and this is our data available. In navigation bar, you can see our area, then group and sub area in a tree-like structure. So we just need to name it, give it a label or a title which will appear on our app, and also an id value which is a technical name which we can refer in our anything programming or something. We just need to name it also technically. So this is called a tree map or site map in our classical previous interface of development. This one is modern one. We'll in a moment we'll switch to classic, because even more flexibility is available in classical one. Right now I'm just renaming my default values given to the the group. So inside group there are sub areas, and group can be multiple columns, like a two column or three column, and in the same way we can have multiple sections also. So in the sub area we can select a table, and which is also sometime called entity. So we will choose our PM task entity or table. Basically we will our main focus in project management app will be task, and we will give it a title, suitable title, and similarly a technical id name for this sub area. So basically this solution is a container, works like a container, and you can now see you can see a preview. This is our app preview as it appears now for end user. So I will switch to classical view, and here is more flexibility. You can see site map at the top, and then there are dashboards. So inside the site map, the similar structure which I was designing in modern view is now available. So basically task is in sub area. I need to choose a type of entity PM task which is already there, and that's it. I just need to save it. Area, group, and sub area, they are shown. So just to show you guys a look of previous classical user interface of development, so I will just publish it. Basically we need to drag and drop fields into our sub area in our PM task entity or table. So just need to let me in at the bottom you can see entities, entity view, in which forms, views, charts, and dashboards are available. So we will just choose the form option and unselect all, and only click a pencil icon on information, and then let it open, and yeah, here we can see our main area. In the journal, inside journal there are certain default field, and there are something being obsolete in October 2021. Basically footer and header, they are now being obsolete. So here only default values, default fields are dropped. So I will need to just add the fields which I have added in my table, which is PM task table. So description will go there, And of course, priority field is important. And similarly, status. There are two statuses. One was default. So I will just drag and drop my own, and status reason I don't need. And then there is a key user validation field, which will set visibility true or false, and completion notes once the task is complete. So completion notes need to be there. So I will just save these form, whatever changes I have done, as you can see in user interface, and it looks better. Before only few fields were there, the default fields. And yeah, I will also need the project. Basically, every task will belong to a certain project will belong to an account or a customer. So one project can have multiple tasks. Just save it, and I will publish it. All the fields which we have created, we need to drag and drop on the form. And then I need to go to the views, and I need to view is just like a list of various tasks. Let me just save the changes. I think anything which is changed on this dashboard is need to be saved also. Just need to create the new view, and you can see there are two panes: filter criteria and columns. Columns is for display, and filter is to filter the records which will be displayed at the bottom. So I just need to name this view as task in progress, and there will be a condition which I will put in the filter criteria. I just need to select a field and field values. So the status field, oh, this one is the wrong status field. The other one, I just need to select in operator, and here, new and in progress. Whatever the tasks are in this status, they need to come under this view. So from the column attributes primary entity, I just need to drag and drop all the fields which are necessary in this view. So again, created on need to be sorted. So primary sort will apply on this. Actually, this one is a date. So I need a sorted record list in this view. So I will just put description and then a priority, and then of course status. This one is showing also technical name, so I can pick the correct one. And then project field also is now there, and whatever fields you like for this view, it is up to you, the requirement, business requirement. So key user validation and completion notes after the task is closed. So I think that's it. Most of the fields are now there, and I will just save it and need to publish it. So the properties are also set, and the fields are dropped, and filter is already applied. So I will just I have already created one view. I will just select as default and uncheck the other one, which was the default one, active PM task. And just let me save again, and I will create another view. And this view is almost the same, except the filter criteria, which will only show the task with the status of closed and completed. So both of the statuses will be shown in this one. So I will select both of these statuses, and in the columns I just need to drag and drop in similar manner like we have done in task in progress. So again, sort will be applied on created on field, which is date type field. So the rest of the fields I will drag and drop. Completion notes and priority, also the status, project. I think that's it. Most of the fields are there, and I can save it now and then publish the view so that this view is now available. So now you can see there are two views custom made. I have selected both of the views, so those are available. And then I also need to go for business process. Let me create a new one. Uh, a business process flow is basically a guided flow whenever you perform a business process stage by stage. So this is kind of a workflow which will guide you whatever the steps are necessary in order to go to the next stage. So in this, I need to just make it a task process flow, and then the category is business process flow by default, and technical name it will automatically pick, and it will be run as classic entities PM task. So on this entity it will run, although I will need to finalize all the stages, and then there are certain data steps. Data steps are data fields basically. So the first one need to be description. So for every step, I since the entity is already PM task, so from that entity I can pick any of the field as a step, which may be required or optional. And for each stage, I also need to give it a display name for each of the stage. So there are basically four stages: new, in progress, and then completed and closed. So I just can drag and drop from components all the stages in a sequence manner, and then I can select each of the stage and give it a name. Like on the second one, I am giving just in progress. Then there will be this third step will be as completed, and fourth can be the closed stage. Once these are named and stages are named, so I can now check the data step. And the second one, I can make description and make it as required. And while creating a task, it can be optional, like on a new state, but in progress, it can be mandatory. For the completed stage, so here I can pick the completion notes as required. And finally, the key user validation can be either email or phone wise. So I can pick here key user validation and make it required. So I need to apply on each of stage whatever changes I am doing, otherwise it will be lost. Just afterwards, once I have completed, I can save and validate and then activate our business process flow. So once I activate, it will be working condition. It will be working then. So it is a guided tour or guided, process flow. It will guide end user from one stage to another one. So I've just completed this one, and I can save. And on the right hand side, task process is there. So let me go back and let me open the task table. And there is one more thing left, is business rules. Basically, business rules are, you can say, triggers or events on which certain actions can be performed. Whenever certain condition happens, so there are actions which need to be performed. So these are business rules, and on each of the table or entity, you can define as many as you like. So I will be defining a business rule in order to make the key user validation field visible or invisible. So the purpose is basically whenever a task is completed, only then the key user field should be visible. Otherwise, it should not be visible. So that whenever a person has verified that this task has completed, he needs to receive a confirmation or verification from the key user of the department. So just need to give a name, a display name for key user validation visibility. Okay, and the field need to be checked is status, of course. When status is completed, only then this is basically a condition. Normally for programmers, it is if then and else condition. So you can see in the business rule text view, it is similar view is shown like if then. So I have just marked it when status is equal to completed, then I can choose an action which is set visibility. There are multiple actions available, so we will choose here only the visibility action. So just give it a logical name for, and choose a field which is a key user validation, and it should be visible, yes. And also set a display name for this, that show key user validation field, and I will apply it. So in, you can see in the text view at the bottom that in the then it is showing that show field key user validation. Else what will happen when status is not equal to completed, so then only it will be hidden, or it will be hidden, and the visibility will be no. So I can also name it. I should name it hide key user validation, and also apply. So once I have applied, I need to save and then validate and activate. There will be a dialog box. Just click the button of activate. Just close it and refresh so that the business rule should appear. Yeah, it is there and the status is activated. So it's working. So that's it. And let me go back and validate and publish the app. Just you need to click new so that new record will appear. But you can see here that business process flow is not shown. So it means that is there is some problem behind. Why? Because the business process flow should be shown here. So it is not showing, so it means there is some problem. So let me go back and close this one, and let me check what is the problem. Yeah, on the right hand side you can check that basically what we developed was task process, but the wrong business process is selected here. So we need to just select the task process on right hand side. Yeah, this one, and untick the expired process, and that's it. Just save it and publish again, and play to run the application, project management application. Just select the view which is task in progress and click the new button, and the record. Now you can check at the top that business process flow is shown. Just enter some data for testing, and save it. So the default values are shown like medium, and the status is new. In first stage, I can click and description field is shown there. And on the second stage, which is in progress, the mandatory description is mandatory by Starex in the red color. Just I can input the description there directly on in the dialog box. Once I input and click the button, and it will be value will be filled at the bottom. So completed, where I can mention the completion notes. So I will just directly input my notes there. Then I will click next, and it will go to the closed. So while doing this stage by stage navigation, I can also fill in at the bottom the form basically. And here you can check the status is still new. It means that I need to manually adjust these fields. So when I clicked it and changed to completed, so automatically key user validation field is now visible. So the task is already in close stage through business process flow, and the project is not shown there. So I will just key in some of the project value. Let me save this. Now I can pick the project which I just entered and save it. That's it, guys, and please tune into my next video, and we will complete this app in our next video. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to receive notification, and click the bell icon so that timely you can receive the notification. Thank you, guys, and please give your feedback and comments.